The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC animated universe you can think of.
Only a 12th level intellect has the slightest hope of surviving what you are about to experience.
Three, two,
One,
one.
clap. That was fast.
Oh. 3, 2, 1, clap.
All right.
We got it.
Got it.
We
Yeah.
got it. We never think of anything. That's the secret to ultimate podcasting. Do not think, just do.
Just do it.
Go. Just
So-
go. Don't even think. Don't just talk. Just speak.
Okay, so
What
here
do you want to talk about?
I want
Anything.
to do a sneak peek in the style of the DC animated movie sneak peeks. So this is a intro sneak peek to today's episode of 12th Level Intellects.
It just
Similar in the
fades
vein
on us going.
of the Justice
People
League.
listen to a lot of podcasts, but
Yeah.
this podcast is one that they also maybe some of them listen to.
It's not
And
the
then it
Fatal
shows
5
one-
sneak peek. This is the 12th
No,
Level
it's a
Intellects
really brief
sneak
clip
peek.
of us punching something, and then goes back to now it's on you, and you go, "Oh, it's
Well, I wrote the script to be a certain, except they didn't write the script to this podcast because
No, the opening stuff is
improv.
always just them saying really generic, like it's wonderful.
To-
It's about life.
It's not 11 intellects, you know. This is
There's not even 12 people.
Yeah.
There's just two.
Can you imagine
Occasionally a couple others.
2 people, 12th level intellects.
2 people, 12 levels. That's the new
2 boys, 1 level.
2 girls, 1 cup. Yeah, there you go. Well, welcome back to that.
To 2 boys,
whatever that is.
1 12th level.
one level times 12.
We're 6th level intellects times 2.
Yeah.
That's probably about right.
Sure.
I think Batman's a 6th level intellect. I think like normal humans are like 5th level. So we're 2 smart humans.
Cat just knocked over something. but I'm
Welcome
not
to
gonna
another
care.
show of 2 smart
Yeah.
humans.
2.5 humans. Yeah, I'm James. That's Ted.
Hey.
And we're going to talk about Young Justice episodes, 4
4,
through
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, and 9. Yeah, 4 through 9 today. Well, that's Young Justice Outsiders. I don't know if I said that.
You
I
didn't.
just
You
might
did
have
now.
said Young Justice.
That's okay.
Okay.
Same show.
Well,
Season 3.
There's no way to tell.
Came out in
Yeah,
the DC Universe app.
Third season. Yeah, DC Universe. Oh well, we're not supposed to say that, right? It was DC, the DC streaming app.
Oh, I forgot we don't say it by name because we're not
It's a
sponsored.
deep joke from last episode. They list when you go to season 1, and then instead of season 2, season 3, it
says Invasion and Outsiders.
and then Outsiders. Yeah, which I like, but also season 1 doesn't have a subtitle, so it just looks unorganized and weird.
It's
to
just
me.
Young
I
Justice.
don't like it. Yeah, this is just season
It's
1.
when they were young.
Nothing special.
Now
They're
it's
getting less and less
it's-
Young Justice.
Last season will be called Old Justice, which was in the original Young Justice book. There is a team called Old Justice, which is great. They're a team of really old, senile, grandparent people.
Is it like Jay Garrick and stuff?
Well, older, but yeah, it's I can't remember
Grandpa Man?
if it's. I
And Grandpa
think they were
Woman?
all unique characters, new characters for the book. They weren't Golden Age characters that got revived.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, but.
Well, yeah, that'd be weird if Justice Society just became Old Justice because they're old now.
Well, this might be jumping the gun.
Everyone advances into Old Justice.
The writer of episode 7, Peter David, was the main writer of the original Young Justice book with Tim
Wow.
Drake, Connor Kent, and it was the Vandal Savage origin
Yeah, the
story.
Vandal
We'll
Savage
get to
one.
that though. I'm jumping the
That was
gun.
good.
We have
Yeah,
news.
yeah.
We have news to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we sure do, Ted.
I do. I have
Say
news.
it.
I've got news and I've got rumors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do
Let's
you
start
have
with the
more?
news.
You can expand upon your Batman tease last time. Well, there's a new Batman, but we don't know who it is. Do we know who it is yet?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the new Batman actor. No, we don't yet.
Yeah.
Except that it's still pretty sure that's going to happen. I saw it in the news again. after saying it. So it seems like speculation's happening. Maybe someone from Warner Brothers is like feeding the media, like, why don't you get the public thinking about who a new Batman might be, and maybe we'll take their top choices out of the comments section or something. Like, put an article out there, Hollywood Reporter.
Maybe a couple of dweebs will talk about it on their podcast.
Yeah, and we'll just listen to them. We don't even have to hire casting directors. We'll just get the short list from these guys.
Yeah, whatever we say goes.
But no,
we know.
nothing new about that. But I did want to say, I wanted to bring up the Justice League versus the Fatal 5 sneak peek, which we've been doing videos running into the ground.
I was about to say.
It's just getting started.
Yep.
So it's gonna keep happening.
I don't have any ones on the movie that I'm currently working on or have completed that you haven't seen.
We just
yet,
need to see the trailer. The trailer will probably be coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then we'll do obviously reaction to that and a deep dive into that. And then the movie will come out, and then we'll do all the Easter eggs with that. And
hopefully that trailer is like maybe a couple minutes.
I bet we can get another
10 minutes.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 3 minutes. Yeah. At most, but we'll be able to crank out another 5 or 6 videos out of this movie.
Right. At least
5
We've got a Batman and Harley Quinn.
A fatal 5 amount of
works.
videos. Nice.
Yeah. The Batman and Harley Quinn video that we're working on, and that we stopped making videos on that like a year ago. So it'll
coming
happen.
back.
There will be some sort of like, I don't know. We'll get the movie. So we'll have the reaction video. We'll have a trailer breakdown video. Then we'll have some sort of video leading up to the release. Then when the movie comes out, we'll do a review. We'll do Easter eggs. We'll do a timeline. Then we'll do Easter eggs that we missed, part 2, because that's what happened last time.
Always happens.
And then we'll do at least 1 or 2 continuity-related videos, and then maybe like because they won't explain Miss Martian at all, so we'll do a Miss Martian speculation.
There you
video.
go. I like it. Mystery of the Martian.
Is Miss Martian a plant or a person?
She's a plant person.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't say this, but it looks like this is a continuation of Justice League Unlimited, just by all the like little background things we've seen so far. The main Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, their voice actors are coming back. So all those elements involved in the art style, of course, makes it seem like this is a direct Justice League Unlimited tie-in movie. That's why it's so exciting. That's why this is newsworthy. So
yeah. I someone pointed out, I can't remember who, so I'm sorry if it's someone listening to this, but they pointed out about I forgot actually that like every 2 years since Gods and Monsters we've been getting another like Bruce Timm style movie. Gods and Monsters was 2015, 2017 Batman Harley Quinn, this one, and they were like pointing out that like maybe they're all coming out seemingly random order, seemingly unconnected stories, but then eventually there will be some kind of like the Justice League teams up with Swamp Thing to fight the Gods and Monsters Justice League or something like that.
That could be cool.
I don't see that happening, but it would be interesting if he was doing it on purpose, like he really is. Bruce Timm is masterminding a little connected movie series or something, but
you never know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
What's your other news, since I don't have anything?
Well, I wanted to, I've got 2 other things here. So quickly bring up the Batman and Flash books are crossing over pretty soon.
Again?
Yeah, again. It's called, so similar, like about a year ago, they did The Button, which...
I was going to say, is it called The Other Button?
It's called The Price.
Next button.
This one's called The Price.
Oh. Okay.
It has nothing to do with Doomsday Clock. So The Button was kind of like a lead into Doomsday Clock. You know, it showed us like some stuff with Saturn Girl, obviously the Watchmen button and all this stuff. So
Flashpoint universe.
Yeah, that was like around. Oh, I've got it on my wall. That was issues 21 and 22 of.
You shouldn't have said that you had it on your wall. Just you knew
I
that
could just look
because
up.
you're so smart.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't just know that. But the next 2 crossovers are gonna be like issue 64, 65 of Batman and the Flash. And this is a direct tie-in to Heroes in Crisis, which is also written by Tom King. So that's the current Crisis book that's out there. It killed off, spoilers, it killed Wally West
Crisis.
And Roy Harper were the 2 major victims, with a couple of other like B-level characters like Lagoon Boy and people like that. So this seems to be like a direct something to do with Batman and the Flash, looking into like Wally's death and things like that. Something, I don't know, something to do with Heroes in Crisis. But it's written by Tom King, who also writes the Batman book, and Joshua Williamson, who's writing the Flash book. So the two of them, it's the same people who did the Button, and they're back for another crossover tying into Heroes. So it's interesting enough.
Have they shown the covers for this yet?
Yeah, the covers are out. They've been. This has kind of probably been known for like 2 months now. I'm just bringing it up because the book's about to come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think it's cool that they're doing another crossover. It's called The Something, same creators, even though it's tying into a different. It's a different tie-in story. So, yeah, if you're not reading Heroes in Crisis, I don't think it's worth looking at. But if you are, make sure to pick up these 4 issues.
I was trying to. I'm distracted here because I was trying to find. I can't find it for whatever reason. I was trying to find the number of the issue that the Flash was in Gotham Adventures, just to see if it's at all.
I think that was issue 25 of
Is it?
Gotham Adventures.
Maybe. It sort of sounds right. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, the Flash from Superman the Animated Series Speed Demons had a little guest appearance in Batman Gotham Adventures 25.
Yeah. Little known fact.
Fun. I got one more piece of news. This is the rumor.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I wish that those comics... Wait! You have to put it off. I wish that those comics were more well-known to DCAU fans. Like, even I didn't know about a lot of them until, like, 2012-ish when we started working on Legacies.
We learned a
lot.
Oh,
there's an entire... Yeah, there's an entire like world of stories that we had no idea existed. And I think it's a lot. I think they just get like a stigma of like, well, only the cartoons are canon, so you don't need to worry about anything else. And it's like, well, why not? Like,
we're worried.
Let's
we're worried
figure
about
it out. Yeah. Anyways, so tell me the secrets.
All right, the secrets apparently is DC Entertainment's DC Comics as a whole are getting restructured. Their leadership, basically, the publishers right now, it's led by co-publishers Dan DiDio and Jim Lee. And the rumor, and now this has been a rumor in the past, but the rumor is that Dan DiDio's out. He's leaving. And it's like uncertain whether Jim Lee's going to be the sole publisher now or if Dan is actually leaving at all. But I think we're going to see some news in the next couple of days, probably by the time this episode's out, possibly with some like restructuring news with DC. We might see new people in charge. Of
when this was a rumor before, did he come out and say like, no, I'm good, I'm not going away?
Well, it's been rumored before because like fans, especially about 10 years ago, were blaming Dan DiDio for like royally screwing up the DC universe in comics. This was around the time of like Final Crisis, where a lot of their books kind of stopped, like continuity started to just have like weird issues, which, to be fair, like
started.
I know. DC always has continuity problems, and it's why every like 10 to 20 years they have to have this mega reboot event, which is something Dan DiDio knows. He realizes that there needs to be a clean slate, and I personally think like there might have been a weird year or two of publishing under his leadership, but like as like Rebirth was a complete like 180-degree switch to like great storytelling again. I think the Rebirth initiative was totally successful, and everything they did with that made DC like come back to more of its roots rather than what they were tried with the New 52. So I think in recent years they've been doing a great job. I wonder if this has something to do with like the Black Label stuff that's been delayed, which is known primarily for Batman's dick was in Batman Damned to number 1.
Say, I didn't hear about it being delayed. Is that a reason why?
Well, other
like,
books.
You can't do that.
It's like All-Star Superman was delayed. There was a Wonder Woman book that has been delayed, and Jill Thompson I think was doing the Wonder Woman book. What else? There was a few like in the Black Label series that have just been delayed in general. So Superman Year One by Frank Miller was in that. So I don't know if it's because of like the Batman dick controversy, which is definitely like that could be a good reason why DC's getting reshuffled. But then there's also Doomsday Clock, which has been just continually delayed as well. But I think that's more of a Gary Frank problem than anybody else. I think it's just the artist needing more time to get it right.
Completely Gary Frank with you.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're at the point now where the series is done. It's probably in the can. If not done, I'm sure they're working on like the last issue or so. But I don't think that's really the reason either why any reshuffling would happen. But I can see why there might be like a weird disconnect between Jeff Johns and the world of DC that he wanted to get to by the end of Doomsday Clock, not lining up with the new continuity that's happening with like Brian Bendis at the lead and people like that who are writing all these other books like Tom King's Batman that might not necessarily meet up to Doomsday Clock like they originally said they would. And so
TLDR, people are still kind of mad at Dan DiDio for some reason, and
I have one more speculation of why, and it could be because of the Second Coming book that's happening at Vertigo. Even though Vertigo and DC are like sort of separate entities, they have different leadership there in a way, but like I think Dan DiDio and Jim Lee kind of have like an overall say with Vertigo, but they're putting out that Second Coming book, which is where Jesus meets like Sunman.
Oh, right.
Or something. The
like
two of them.
A roommate.
There's a petition right now. It's gotten over 100,000 signatures to like ask DC to not put the book out, saying that it's sacrilegious and stuff like that, you know? So I'm just speculating on all the like bullshit that they're dealing with right now and why they might why people might want them to reshuffle. Time Warner, which was bought by AT&T. So now AT&T has that sort of, they can have that say if they want to restructure any of their purchases.
We've been listening into our customers' text message conversations, and they say Dan DiDio's out.
They say that the Second Coming book is not cool. People don't like Batman's dick, and they're mad that Doomsday Clock is running late.
Yeah. I've been mad that Doomsday Clock's running late since the second issue came out.
I know, but it's been so good, I can forgive it.
Yeah,
it's like every issue is like, okay, well, this is really good. So
yes, much like our comic, it's worth the wait.
Nice shameless plug. Well, that's all the news I have. News and rumors.
Yeah, my news is that I got these cool little metal figures from Fred Meyer. You can't see them if you're listening to the podcast, but Ted can kind of see
this
them.
Is welcome to James Reads from his diary segment.
Thank you. Today I went to Fred Meyer and I bought a tiny Batman Beyond Joker and Commissioner Gordon, and it was a good day.
And he kept it on his desk and inspired him to draw and make videos for YouTube.
Yeah, well, like the other day we were editing Legacies scripts, and I was like, I gotta draw something. I was like, I have to act on this before it goes away. So then I drew that Jessica Cruz drawing that we can
I tease these Legacy scripts a little bit?
I don't know.
I am. So
okay,
we're putting out a couple issues this year in 2019 that are also set in the year 2019 for the DCAU.
Oh, what?
And so if you're keeping up, most of the issues, the like far future stuff that we see in issue 1 is set in like 2054 or 2056. I forget which one it is off the top of my head.
6.
Is it 6? I know it's one of those. And so that's like the world of Epilogue from the JLU episode.
Yeah.
And then we jump back to 2004, which is post Justice League Unlimited, like days after the last episode. And so now we're jumping 15 years to 2019, which is the year that Batman retires, as seen in the very first half of the first episode of Batman Beyond, Rebirth. So it's we just wrote an issue set in this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm also writing an issue that is set on the day he retires, which is basically going to lead up to the events of that Batman Beyond episode. And I'm really excited for that. It's going to, basically lead us right up to the opening seconds of it. So this should be really cool.
The first, I guess it's not the first shot of the episode, but, you see Bunny Vreeland's all tied up, and then not Amanda Waller, voice actress, is reading a news thing about like how it's happened. And when you first see Batman, he like zooms up and punches a thug, and then he stands there. He looks all cool. That thug that he knocks out is like a background thug in like every show at some point.
So you think he remains young?
Yeah, he's like he's got
Randall
Lazarus Pit
Savage?
stuff going on.
Do you think it's Randall Savage?
Yeah, we should canonize. We got to write an entire story about Randall Savage
That's
that leads
him.
up to also the start of Rebirth. He gets immediately knocked out. That's his like stupid origin, is that he's been planning like these horrific things for years and years, and then he just gets knocked out by Batman immediately. Anyway, yeah, no, I was gonna say we wrote or like came up with the ideas for there goes the cat food. Anyway, we came up with the idea for cat food in about 1872.
Cats. Food. Perfect. Boom.
Make them into food. When we started Legacies, obviously we had an idea to put out issues quicker than they happened, and we were gonna do.
We were young and
pretty sure
foolish.
Yeah, we didn't know.
But now we're young
we were just
and a
six
little
level
less
intellects
foolish.
then. Yeah, now we're a little less young, but
And a little more foolish.
Yes. We won't get fooled again, Brown. What the hell was I saying?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Well,
You won't get fooled again.
Not gonna fool me twice.
All right. Anyway, God damn it. Right. Coming up with ideas for the comic, and I was gonna. Okay,
We did that.
Don't say more things. Don't say more things ever.
More things
the rest
ever.
Of the podcast.
The rest of the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so no, are you gonna say that now? No. All right. We were gonna do these issues that we're doing right now way sooner, or like actually no, they were gonna happen at this time, but we were gonna have many more other issues done before now, because the idea was that we start in 2004, maybe by 2019 we've naturally caught up to 2019, but instead we're just hopping around, which originally I was like mad about when we were planning the episode guide. I was like, Ched, we can't just jump to this time and then we can't just jump back to this time. Like that's confusing. But we're doing
we
that,
can.
and we're
And
gonna
it works.
keep doing that probably, yeah.
It kind of works.
Because by the time the comic finale happens when we're 60 years old,
Hey, 60's
there
the new
will
30.
be- yeah. There's no, if 65 is the new 30, then 60 is the new like 28.6 or 5,
Nice
or
math.
something like that. I don't know. I'm no smarty.
That's
pants
why you're a
12th level
12th.
intellect.
Oh, yeah? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not.
Okay.
But the people just want to hear us talk about Young Justice.
Let's do it.
I gotta remember I gotta look on the DC streaming service
What the episodes are called?
application on my phone to remember what each episode was, because
Here, I gotcha.
the first time we talked about this, there were only 3 to talk about, and they were brand new. I remembered all of them. Now it's 6 episodes, and I can't remember what was what because I watched them very spaced out.
Let's start at episode 4, Private Security.
That would be a natural place to begin. If I could get to the frickin' page.
So this one was the one with Nightwing and all the Roy Harpers.
Oh yeah, this was probably actually my favorite of all.
Really,
6
I
new ones.
hated this one, and I watched it 3 times. I've watched it 3 times.
Why?
Because I watched it on my own, and then I watched it with a friend because I was thinking, oh, well, I'm less drunk now. Maybe it'll make more sense. Nope. And then my roommate watched it, and I was just like, dude, you are in for one weird episode.
I guess I didn't like that the bearded Roy, so the clone Roy, the actual Roy Harper clone, is a little too like silly. Like why is he this
All of them kind of are in this episode, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it reminded me of like a This Little Piggy kind of episode. Like it's just in there as filler, kind of random, and but his personality didn't really fit. Like, maybe
it
because
was there were 3 Roys. That's the thing,
Yeah.
and they had to make them all a little different. So Arsenal,
yeah, I guess so.
the real Roy, who's the one who was like put on ice and like kept by the light.
Yeah. He's the smallest, shavedest one.
Yeah, and he's got a robot arm, and he's the most angsty. And then obviously Red Arrow Roy is the one who we've seen through most of the show. And then there's this new Roy. I don't think we've ever seen him before. Can you confirm? Have you ever seen this one before?
What, the older
The
one?
older,
shaved face one?
older,
That's
taller.
Guardian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but wasn't Mal Duncan Guardian before?
Now, Guardian's been this weird Roy clone since like episode 1 of the show.
Really? He was in
yeah,
episode 1? I remember Guardian in
Yeah.
that, but it was it was the original Guardian, wasn't it?
No, it was him because he has the same voice actor,
Are you sure it's
which
not,
I didn't clue into till this time that I've been rewatching it. But yeah,
Oh, they are related. The original
Yeah.
Guardian's name was Jim Harper. So
Yeah.
Harper could very much be related to Roy Harper. But I don't know
to
if,
Harper. Yeah,
but like I don't know if that's ever been like an intentional thing before.
no, I think I'm. See, this is the problem. We had this last time where we couldn't remember.
Yeah.
We had a Roy conversation about this, but I'm like 99% sure that the oldest, hunkiest Roy has always been Guardian, and then he got like de-brainwashed and revealed that he was another Roy clone that they did a long time ago or something, and accelerated his age or something like that. Everyone screaming, all the fanboys screaming can confirm that I'm 99% right. Maybe 90%.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I'm looking at it now, but I'm right that Mal Duncan was Guardian in season 2 for a minute.
Okay. Well, no. He took over after it was revealed. That
But
he
you're
was a
right.
clone.
This is the original Guardian,
Yeah.
who is actually not a Roy clone. This is Jim Harper, who we need to. I don't know. I'm very interested to know the relationship.
I think maybe Jim Harper is a pseudonym or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm rewatching seasons 1 and 2 with my wife.
Let me
so
know
when
if
we
you
get
figure
to
it
that
out.
part-
Let me
Yeah.
know, yeah, because that confused me. I was like, "Who's this?" Like, because I realized at the end of the episode, oh, it's Guardian. But then I was
Yeah.
like, "But is he a Roy clone?" But
Yeah.
and I think he might
yeah.
be. Anyway, whatever. His name's
Comment
Jim.
below.
His
with
name is Jim.
That I'm right.
He probably
Um,
is.
Well, so okay, regardless of who's Roy and who's
Yeah.
not, I think that this episode was fun to me because this is a situation that is not really a thing you could do in any other
Bowhunter
medium than-
security.
Yeah, well, like I'm both. I don't think that this particular character has ever been tri-cloned like this or whatever, but I also don't. There's no other like genre of thing that you could
Right.
like there's like sci-fi superhero stuff is the only thing you could do this sort of like story with, and I think that's it was just really like I didn't expect it to be as goofy as it was, like because we're right in the middle of just a bunch of like horrific deaths and dark storytelling and all this stuff, and then just
Yeah, this was a goofy one.
Yeah, we're just
The four of
palling
them
around.
fought Brick, the Green Arrow villain Brick, who was
Yeah.
trafficking metahumans and whatnot. And then they had a big fight in like a truck going on this like curvy mountain road, and then there's
Guardian
like a fight
jumps
on
like,
the
the
truck.
front of the truck,
And that truck is so big. Like I actually watched one of the bonus features on DC Universe about this episode. I didn't intend to watch it about this episode. I was just watching the bonus stuff, and it ended up being
so you
about
watched it 4 times.
Technically, and I hate this episode. But they were talking about how challenging it was to
It's not canon because you don't like it.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. But and now I just want to preface and say I loved episodes 7, 8, and 9. We'll get to that, but they were talking about how hard it was to animate the truck battle because of how little space they had to fight on the truck, but they had to make it look like it was a little space, and there are a couple shots where it looks like a pretty big truck. So
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
when Nightwing and Roy number 2 are holding Brick like above their heads and just yelling at each other.
Yeah.
They're like standing like 10 feet apart from each other.
How are they that strong? They don't have superhuman
Yeah,
strength.
that too. Yeah, he's not like overcoming them in any way. He's just being a worm.
I mean, it's definitely a silly episode, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
but I'm
that- well,
glad
that part in
they could
particular-
do that, I guess.
That part in particular was slightly cringy because it was like, I know they're gonna throw him because he's like, put me down, and they're just, if they would have just thrown him, that would have been fine.
They
but
could have thrown him and
like,
chatted.
Oh, okay. And he's like, whoa, I didn't expect you. No, wait, no. And then they throw him out. I'm like, yeah, okay, I got it 20 minutes ago. But what was the other? Oh, the something else that bothered me when they're on the trucks is that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nightwing is like angry that, or like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's like missing Wally West, like he's like calls Roy Wally or something on accident. And he's like, you're not over Wally's death. And it's like, what? This is a thing that just happened. Like he hasn't been saying anything about this the whole season so far. It's just been like, they didn't develop that. It was just suddenly happened. I don't know.
They've been doing hints, like every now and then they'll kind of mention, like Beast Boy will be like, oh yeah, I met the princess or whatever at a funeral for a fast friend or something like that. Or like Artemis will look at her photo of Wally in her room or something. So there's like, they're just
do you think Wally's gonna come back in this season?
Of course, man. Of course.
It'll be like a big season finale. Like
they've done this to him in the comics at least 2 or 3 times, where Wally disappears into the Speed Force and comes back.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Oh my God, Cat! Shut up.
Okay, well, moving on to the next episode. The last thing that I'll say about episode 4 was that it had like a little B story where Superboy and Geoforce are hanging out at the Kent farm, and Geoforce is a lot like Superboy, where he's like really mad and angsty, whatnot. Can't really control his powers. So Superboy is kind of realizing that, and I think taking like a little bit of a, not karma, but he's kind of trying to pay it forward by being like, well, I used to be that angry at my situation. Now I'll help this other angry person figure it out.
Right.
So they had a literal like Zen in the art of motorcycle
before.
maintenance scene there, where he's like, just clean this motorcycle and they'll teach you how to be Zen.
Yeah, you'll have an understanding of what it means to be mad.
Yeah. Well, episode 5, this was...
we have to refresh.
This is called the Away Mission. Oh, this
where
was...
they go to get the Forager bug.
Yeah, Forager.
Click, click.
I will admit, I always forget that Mantis, the Apocalyptian... Well, he's not Apocalyptian, but he, like... fights for Darkseid. We've seen him in JLU a few times.
Yeah.
I always forget he's a bug of New Genesis.
Oh, is that who the green one is?
Mm-hmm. He was Mantis.
Oh, I didn't make that connection at all. But that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does make sense that
That's
he's there.
cool.
And that he's a bug because his name is Mantis.
Well, I didn't hear the name, or I forgot. No, I liked they're actually like bug looking, like they're crunchy little pill bug things, because usually, I mean, like, classically they just look like humanoids with weird faces. They're just dudes with like Lego heads.
right.
So now, like, they at least look like actual weird crab monsters.
I wonder if I'm not sure if it's supposed to be true or not, but I think Forager from the original Jack Kirby stuff was a new god who thought he was a bug. But I could be wrong. But in this case, he's definitely a bug.
Well, in the DCAU, he is a new god in Superman the Animated Series, and then he's a bug in Justice League. So it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, he's still more or less in the fourth world character. But it was cool to see Orion in there, even though Orion was acting like a dick.
Even it's not really him.
It wasn't. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He was an Orion-looking guy for a sec.
Yeah, but it's still cool to see him in the show. They're obviously building up to a big showdown with the Fourth World at the end of season 2 with I mean, it's so hard not to skip ahead to other episodes, but
yeah, well, that's something that's been surprising me this whole time, really, is that like we've jumped 2 years ahead and they're still like just in the middle of dealing with Darkseid stuff.
Well, the light's been around for a while. Centuries, thousands of years. So yeah, it's been a long.
But I mean, the season 2 ends with Vandal Savage and Darkseid like shaking hands, business as usual, and then it just. Okay, well, 2 years later, it's still business as usual.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm glad that they didn't just cut to 2 years later. We remember when we solved that Darkseid thing. Here's a new thing. Like, I'm glad we're seeing that, but it's
getting
still
up there. It's definitely like you can tell they're leading to a showdown in the second half of season 3.
Yeah,
or into season 4. We'll see how long they keep going, because I have a feeling they're going to get a season 4. after the success of this
Yeah.
one. This is actually one of the most in-demand streaming shows right now of all services.
Yeah, no, it was like number one on some big time news article about that. That was cool.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
So, but Miss Martian's brother, cousin, what was it? Is Malafa'ak or whatever the fuck?
Oh, did they reveal
Oh,
that?
God.
So I guess it was Malefak.
Well, it's like that's not his real name, but he goes by that because in this it's some sort of like Martian chupacabra.
Yeah.
Like a weird like yeti that no one talks about.
That's
Like,
right.
That's a made up monster. But anyway,
No,
yeah.
I'm reading about him.
I didn't.
Apparently his name is Makam Maors, but
Okay.
Malefak he might have been like inspired by Malefak.
Because typically that's Jean Jones's
brother,
relative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is evil twin brother.
Who's an actual green Martian, I think.
Yeah, and he was in Justice League Doom.
Yeah.
Saw him in that show or that movie.
Also voiced by Carl Lumbly, I think.
Nice.
Anyway, what else can we say about this episode? I like Forager's manner of speaking.
Yeah, and while they were off doing that, Superboy was helping Halo and Geoforce train, so that they've always just kind of been in the background of the Beast story there.
I was glad that they pulled in like Wonder Girl, Impulse, Blue Beetle, that stuff like for this episode, because that was not really a complaint, but like something I was noticing, I guess, was like they showed us this whole team of Young Justice kids at the start, and then they're just barely in the show so far. But I guess we're just following the characters that we started following, you know.
Once we get to episode 8, I think it was then we'll have more to talk about some of those other random ones. But yeah, they've definitely been focusing, and I guess that's why it's called the Outsiders, but they've been keeping the focus on, and it's very true to the original Outsiders team. Halo, Geoforce, Black Lightning. Yeah. These are all like the main characters. Nightwing's been on the team plenty of times. And it seems like they're about to, in the next batch of episodes, like episode 10, 11, 12, 13, they're going to bring in Katana and Metamorpho, who will basically round out that original Outsiders team. Forager's new. Superboy's new, Tigress is new, but they still fit what the team is. So I have a feeling they're going to continue to go into like Batman's team and start to kind of mesh with that too.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get a couple more focused episodes on the Batman peeps, and then they'll kind of merge a little bit toward the end.
Yeah.
I liked the design of the like bug level of New Genesis, the more like the actual Terran, the what do we call it? I don't know, the planet,
right?
Because it's not Super Town, it's like what the planet actually looks like. Whereas in Justice League, like the planet just looked like someone's backyard or something.
It was just forest. Yeah.
And
Super Town up
not
there
to
in
say
the sky.
it's bad. Yeah.
Well, cool.
It's just not it wasn't as classic. It was more, design, Phil Barassa designing stuff out the wazoo.
Yeah. That was awesome. I like Forager.
Yeah.
I think he's a nice like comic relief. He reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
A bit where he's just like kind of awkward, doesn't quite understand.
He's not
humans.
like mad all the time though. He's like very drawn in, like
he wants to be a friend. He's more just I'm just a cuddly little bug guy who can roll into a ball and fight people.
I like imagining the voice actor sitting there going like all the time, like making all of his weird little noises.
Voyager.
Yeah, no, that's good. He adds like a needed, not comic relief, I would say, but more like a levity to
more like a graphic
episodes.
content.
Yeah, don't.
No, I gotcha.
No one gets that. Cause
Not
you
yet.
haven't started that yet.
We get it. Okay.
Anyway.
Cool. Moving on. Episode 6.
7. No, I don't know how to count.
Episode 6 is called Rescue Op. And so this is where they're trying to. It's when they fight the Sensei. They have a lead on Geoforce's sister, who is Terra from the Teen Titans, and they come across. Talia's got a little baby, and there's also a red-hooded ninja.
That's like the last 10 seconds of the episode.
I know, but it's an
not
important
like
part.
pivotal part. But
because in the later episode we see
It's
Lois
what you
Lane has a
remember.
little baby, and this is the beginning of the Super
Yeah.
Sons. Younger Justice season 4.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which means Jonathan is like a year older than Damien. Like Damien looked a lot more baby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
These are the important things to discuss.
they are. But what was cool was seeing Red Hood with Ra's al Ghul and all that stuff. Like, it was cool to see him fight, and hopefully he'll be a bigger deal, because this was just kind of really a tease with him.
Now, General Iroh from The Last Airbender, aka Sensei, isn't that supposed to be Ra's al Ghul's like dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if they've specified that in this
I don't think
universe,
so either.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a later, not a retcon exactly, but it was like the Sensei wasn't originally Raish's dad.
Yeah.
But the Sensei
I'll have to look
also
back.
appeared in Gotham Adventures. In issue
yeah, I was gonna say
12,
he's in there, but
yeah.
I don't remember if in the DCAU he's Ra's al Ghul's dad.
I
or
don't think
not,
he's
but
supposed to be, but might be left open.
He's a very small, like Looney Tunes looking man in that.
Mhm.
He's just a weird little dude. But anyway,
I don't know. It's I
uh,
always like the League of Assassins or League of
Yeah.
Shadows, whatever they're called here.
Shadow Assassins of
Mhm.
guildleague.com. Yeah, he's I like how they're, where's all the ninjas? And he's like, I trained all the ninjas. They don't need to be here. Like, I'm enough. Even though it's then revealed that there's no ninjas because they're not in charge of the ninjas no more.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know who is.
You don't.
Who's your guess?
I have no
Randall
idea.
Savage.
Yeah, Randall, actually.
Randall Savage.
No, I don't know. This episode, I'm trying to remember what else. Like, we saw Oracle. We've heard Oracle before, but we see her in the chair.
Yeah.
And so there must have been some sort of Killing Joke inspired event that happened in the last 2 years.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, Dick and Barbara are like making out and stuff.
Mhm.
They're like a couple, which everybody in the Discord seemed to be happy with. They were,
Yeah.
they were enjoying.
I like Dick and Babs. I also
Yeah.
support Dick and Starfire. So I think they should the
Yeah,
three of them
that
should
would
be
be
in a little
interesting if they brought her
polyamorous little relationship.
Yeah.
It's the
They
21st
could do
century.
Dick, Barbara, and Starfire. That'd be okay.
Yeah, it'd be
It's
fine.
2019.
Fine with me.
Poly
Mm-hmm.
Wag, the Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this episode didn't have a lot that I like to remember about it, other than the Jason Todd stuff at the end.
Mhm.
I do like that sometimes Geoforce is so angry that he just turns into a rock monster. Like, you can't help it.
That's pretty cool.
Which, because people are complaining about his super suit being like stupid looking, like he looks like Gambit or something. Like he's got the head sock like Gambit.
He's
And,
always had that head sock though, and
Yeah,
all
but,
of
like,
Geoforces.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, none of the Young Justice characters, they're all like overly detailed versions of what you expect or whatever. So it's not like I don't know. I like that they look like they have armor on and whatever.
It's all close enough to their original comic book look for me to be happy with it. I like Geoforce's redesign because his original suit's really goofy.
Yeah.
Halo, I like her look too. She's still got the classic red, yellow, and blue stripes on her over the black suit. So it's like a really nice update in my opinion for her.
Yeah, and it kind of changes depending on what her power is that she's using at the time.
It's cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
This is kind of a weird comment, but she's like got like bigger hips than normal girls in this show, and I don't know if that's on purpose as like it's like an ethnic difference in character designs. I don't know.
That's a Phil
I was
Barassa
noticing.
question.
So.
Oh, you were noticing her hips. Huh?
Yeah. Hey, why does Hill have like a bigger butt? Phil, that's the question. If we ever interview him, that's what I'm
That's a
asking
great.
him.
Yeah, say it just
No
like that.
question.
All right. Well, moving on. Episodes
yeah.
7, 8, and 9 were my favorites of the series, so I'm excited to talk about these more.
Okay.
Yeah. I was actually kind of disappointed.
Vandal Savage one,
4, 5,
right?
and 6 kind of disappointed me. The ones we just talked about.
yeah.
So when 7, 8, and 9 came out, I was like, finally, this is the
Yeah.
show. This is like what I wanted out of the show. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Well, these ones were a lot more like, they're less episodic and more just like, and now here's this thing that's happening in the universe. Like it was more contained stories, which I thought was cool, but also like I want to see more of what's happening in like the story I've been following.
Sure.
Which was
so
what 9 was,
basically,
I
this
guess,
is how I write Legacies. Was how 6, 7, or
Right.
7, 8, and 9
You
happened.
can't just jump around.
That's probably why I liked it better.
No, you talk about 7 because you liked it.
Yeah,
a lot.
7 was called Evolution, and this was Vandal Savage's origin story. And so it's kind of centered around 2 of his daughters, a woman named Cassandra, and then I forget the younger woman's name, but she was a new character that we hadn't
Scandal
seen before.
Savage.
It wasn't Scandal though.
It wasn't?
I don't know. No, it was. She was called something else.
I thought it was supposed to be his daughter.
Yeah,
so I
well, it
assumed it
definitely
was Scandal
was, but
Savage.
I don't think it was Scandal. I'm looking.
I mean,
real
no
quick.
sign of Randall anywhere in the episode, but
I know.
we can only hope he shows up. Yeah, old lady was. It was.
Yeah,
off-putting
actually,
because she
you're
kept-
right, it was
Did you
Scandal.
get to the part about the bear?
It was
like
Scandal.
16 times.
Yeah.
It was? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bear. Did you read the story about the bear? Yeah,
Yeah.
her mind was
Yeah.
deteriorating, and I did like how she was like focused on that because it was like, oh, that's your the first story of the Great Vandal Savage before he became immortal.
Before he became,
And it's cool because in the Dark Knight's Metal comic that came out last year, they talked about the different tribes of the wolf, tribes of the bear, tribes of the hawk,
Bat.
and Vandal Savage was tribe of the bear. So I think
Yeah.
he might have been tribe of the wolf. I think it was tribe of the bear.
Well, if he's fighting a bear, he might be a wolf.
Let me see if I can Google
He's
it real
the
quick.
tribe of the laptops. When you send 2 laptops back in time.
The bear tribe. Yeah, he was the bear tribe. So that's perfect.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Perfect
well,
for that. So
he's killing his mascot.
yeah, he did. He killed his mascot, but that's how he got his mascot. So
Da bears. Yeah,
bears.
he
Revenant style.
yeah.
Mhm.
Little more successful, I
Yeah,
would say.
I'd say so too.
Although he does die immediately afterward, and then doesn't, and then gets reborn or whatever.
But
Yeah,
after he's
I-
immortal, what's really cool is we see these instances in the past where he's had these like grand epic battles. Like it kind of goes. We see him in like ancient Egypt with a version of Dr. Fate, and I guess it was in Naboo at the time. That would make sense, especially like they've been talking like I forget which episode it was. It's probably the last one, but Zatanna visits her dad, who's now
where she has
possessed
to-
by the
She
Dr.
gets
Fate helmet. 1
10-minute
hour
thing or an hour.
Yeah, but still.
God, yeah, that was pretty horrific.
But there's been a lot of little
We are
Easter
here-
eggs with Naboo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been this episode. I know when I watched it, I actually like when he has to put the helmet back on and Halo's like, or she, okay. Yeah. Tigress says like, oh, we're not here for this part when they're just talking. And then when he puts the helmet back on and she's like, we are here for this part. Like actually like, like audibly like, oh, that's terrible.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad.
It was.
There's a lot of sad stuff in
I
this.
know,
in
and
this.
it's like-
It's more mature, yeah.
That's like Zatanna's
Except for the Roy
characterization.
episode.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but yeah, so we see Vandal Savage back in that like ancient time, fighting. Was it Starro? It was Starro, right?
Yeah.
Where they're fighting like ancient Egypt against Starro,
Which turns out to be what's leading the like Armada against
right
Earth and
during in
stuff.
the modern day. That was such a cool parallel.
Yeah.
And then later you see when he's Genghis Khan, he's fighting against Darkseid for the first time and his parademon forces, and that's the first time he ever struck a deal with Darkseid, where they basically agreed like, oh, like those Darkseid saw that there were metahumans on Earth, like Vandal Savage and the people who he kept close to him, and so Darkseid agreed to strike a deal with him to save Earth, and the two of them would work together, use Earth as like an experimental grounds to make more metahumans in an effort.
I have 2 comments on that.
Okay.
The first is that we talked about this a little last time, but I think it's cool that like in comic book lore, there's just all these different like hundreds of reasons why someone might become a superhero, but they're kind of like condensing it down to like metagene.
Yeah.
Like you're a metahuman, which like normally would be kind of dumb that they're just making it like across
That's
the board.
what it is,
but
though.
I think it works really well in this show where you have to like keep things kind of concise in this giant DC universe. Is like, yeah, you know, that those people that are the whole like thing this season, all the metahumans being trafficked and stuff, like turns out Vandal Savage is the first metahuman. Like he's not just happens to be a radioactive dude or whatever. So
yeah, they're
and then the
really
second thing
building
was
that lore.
yeah. And I also thought it was dumb that Vandal Savage and Darkseid shake hands about being teammates or whatever in like the like 14th century or something. And then he's like, I think I'll wait to set my plans in motion until there's a fucking Justice League. Like, why didn't you just do stuff so long ago? I don't know.
I think they were waiting for like the real arrival of metahumans. You know,
guess.
because in the DC universe, like metahumans don't really take off until World War II. Like they're around before that, but they're much more underground and much more mythological. Whereas after World War II, they're in the
Justice League
public
is
eye.
comprised of a lot of them.
The Justice Society was really the first group to really do that. So, that didn't bother me. But I liked seeing all that history, the history of the light, the reason why Darkseid's involved now, and just all that origin story for their alliance. That was, I thought, an amazing episode.
The sequence of the war world versus all the alien ships was like something out of a like 90s anime or something. Like just it seemed like obscurely cool in a Toonami kind of way. Like
I agree. Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like a thing that's supposed to be in this show, but it was still really cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
episode.
I don't know.
One of the
Just
best ones so
artistically,
far.
it was cool. Yeah. It was a little weird to me that the war world is just like there. Like I don't remember that. End of season 2.
He took it over in season 2.
Yeah, but he took it to Apocalypse the last time we saw it, I think.
Just to say hey to Darkseid. I thought he was going to give it to Darkseid, but apparently they're still using it.
He just has it, yeah.
I think it was more of a just to show off to Darkseid, like, hey, I got your back, man. We still have our thing. Like, I got the war world. We're good. We're in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I like how he has Mongol in like a cage. You see for a second, like he's just like knocked out. And like I don't know if you noticed that, but when they're like right before he snaps the old lady's neck, you see Mongol just like unconscious in a cage. Like he's put him in there as like a
He'll get out.
You don't get to have this anymore. This is mine. Yeah.
He's gonna get out though. Probably.
Is episode 8? Is that all of the Batman Kids one?
Yeah, well, that was part of it. Episode 8 kind of jumped around. This one was called Triptych, and in this one, it had like 3 different sections. Like we kind of saw 3 different things with the team, and so I loved seeing the Shade and the Mist.
Right.
Particularly,
okay. Yeah. No, that was really
these
cool.
villains. The Shade was badass. He had some. He looked really cool, really similar to the JLU look with his eyes. And then at the very end of the episode, we see him get the hat. And
that was the best part. It was like, the hat. Like he's in his little
the whole time.
Like
and the Mist,
English-looking suit.
The Mist is a really obscure Starman villain as well. So the Shade and the Mist, I'm just like, they're going Starman right now. And then Livewire was just thrown in there as well. I don't know why, but.
Well, it was weird how they're explaining, like, was it Simon Stagg or somebody was like in control of them? But Mist was the only one that showed any like, I don't want to do this. I'm just doing it because I am being forced to with Mad Hatter technology or whatever. But the like Livewire especially seemed like, yep, I'm Livewire. Fuck everybody. Like I do this because I want to or whatever.
Yeah, that's her thing. We saw Tigress and Cheshire interact and like.
Right.
Tigress is basically begging Cheshire, come visit your daughter. She needs her mom. And what else?
That scene was a little goofy to me at the end because Cheshire is like, don't call me that or whatever. I'm only Cheshire now, and she puts the mask on, and like that's the only time where she just looks ridiculous in it. Like why? I don't know. She seems so like evil and aggressive, and then she just like, and put this cat mask on. Don't call me that.
There was a cool little fight scene in this episode between Captain Marvel and the Flash versus like Abracadabra and Sportsmaster. Like Sportsmaster attacked this truck that just happened to be driven by the Flash and Captain Marvel.
Right, yeah, no, that was really funny when they're like, "Yeah, I love this job," or whatever, and they turn out to be them. Yeah, that was cool.
Pretty cool. That was a nice fight.
There was the only weird thing about that was they have like a long-haired, long-bearded guy on the truck with them that you don't find out who it is, and then it turns out to be
it was
it turns out to be someone recognizable, and I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember who it was too.
But it was a character you saw earlier in the episode in a non-flashback that was like
somebody
he was bald
in a
and
mask.
stuff because they shaved his head.
I want to say Psycho Pirate, but that didn't sound right.
No.
Was that Matt Hagen? Was it supposed to be Clayface in that truck?
No, he was doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But they built it up as this big like, oh my god,
was
it's
it
this
Weather
thing
Wizard?
No. Damn it, I don't remember. I wish I remembered.
Forget too. Well, anyway. Let's talk about the Mad Hatter part because I loved seeing like Tim Drake's Robin with his bitches, you know? It was like Tim Drake with Arrowette and Spoiler and Orphan.
Yeah.
And Orphan, like, I was so happy to see her in there because like Orphan and Stephanie Brown's Spoiler are like Tim's best friends. And so I was just like, oh, it's Tim and his best friend.
I like how she slices Clayface down the face.
Yeah.
And she's like, did you know he was Clayface or were you just doing that?
She knew, but she also, like, that's Orphan's thing is she'll slice first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim's always been like, trying to get her to be less violent. But
yeah, well, I talked about last episode or the one before about like the Rebirth Detective Comics with all those characters has been some of my favorite comics lately, and this felt a lot like that. It didn't have Batwoman and stuff, but it had
similar like aesthetic. Was
Clayface
a lot of
and
the Spoiler and Orphan.
Clayface,
yeah, exactly. Arrowette would be the newer edition, but she was Arrowette was in the original Young Justice comic book instead of Artemis. Like Artemis was kind of filling in that Arrowette spot for a while in the show, but now we have the actual. Which is
who is just a person. Like we haven't met them. They're just there.
She's basically got like a helicopter mom who forced her to be a superhero. It was like she could have done like beauty pageants, but instead her mom was like, nope, you're going to be a superhero. And
it's the opposite of Artemis because her like huntress mom was like,
don't
do it.
Her mom hooked up with Oliver Queen back in the day. Like just slept together for in some context. So it was always like uncertain if Arrowette is Oliver's daughter. Like it's always been kind of left open that might have happened. So
I have a feeling like maybe she is also publicly his niece or something, because that was Artemis's deal. Was her cover was that like, oh, another niece? Oh, like Robin knew immediately. Like, no, you're not. You're not his niece or whatever.
Just so like I'm not Bruce Wayne's son.
Yeah. I'm not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne runs my company, or he pays for all our stuff. But that's all.
Batman Incorporated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that scene with the four of them.
Mad Hatter was cool in this. I like seeing the Batman villains a little differently interpreted than I'm used to, like in DCAU, because they still look
banned
cool
for
and
a
it's
while.
Still cool stories.
Yeah, we had a little bat embargo for a while, so we didn't really get to see him in much stuff.
Yeah, well, even like the Riddler was in Young Justice season 1.
So was Joker and Bane.
Yeah.
And we've seen a bunch of...
Have we had a Joker? Oh, no, we have. Yeah.
He was in the Injustice
He was
gang.
Controlling the plant people things. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Voiced by Brent Spiner, who plays Data on Star Trek.
Wow.
Yeah. Episode 9, the last episode of the so far. Even though there will be 4 more in a couple days, which is nice.
Yeah. By the time you're listening to this, there will be more.
We're always a set of episodes behind. Yeah.
That's cool, though. Yeah, this one was called Home Fries. Or Home Fires. I'm sorry.
Home Fries.
Home Fires. Not fries. I'm just hungry.
This one was called Tater Tots.
Did you notice El Dorado's father? in this. It was this guy
Yeah,
named
I did
Eduardo
notice that, 'cause
Dorado.
his name was like, Dorado. Yeah.
Senior, and we know that Junior was in a previous season.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. Yeah, this one was Lobo. Lobo came and he was there. He was there for Superboy, wasn't he?
No, Forager.
Forager. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because we assume that, or we're supposed to assume that the other bugs like hired him, but I guess it was Vandal Savage and Co. or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
I did. I liked how he had his own language that he spoke, his Zarnian language.
Interlac, I think.
Okay,
Maybe.
But anyway, I like how even when he was speaking that, he still says like poozers or fraggin or something like that in the subtitles. Like,
Yeah.
He's still using his weird like rock star language. Yeah. And when he comes to Earth, or I guess just in general, his design, I like that he still looks like a weird Kiss member, but he looks a little less like makeup-y and more like that's just like patches of skin or something.
When I read Lobo comics, I always hear Danny Trejo's voice in the back of my head. Like I associate him with Danny Trejo. He's that's like Machete.
Even Danny Trejo voices Bane in Young Justice.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's my dream casting for Lobo.
They do have the same like black spiky eye shaped things. I don't know. Yeah, but an excuse to use absurd violence with Lobo. Like he throws a spike hook through Halo's chest or something. Like just rips out her guts and stuff. And there's just blood everywhere. Like, okay, yeah, you can do that now because you're not on Cartoon
Halo
Network
again
anymore.
Yep. But we know now Halo's gonna keep coming back.
Yeah, it's not as big of a deal when she like, okay, yeah, she's gonna revive herself or whatever. I feel like maybe a big thing, maybe by the end of the season or something, will be like she'll get killed in a way that she can't revive from or something like that, and it'll be like a bit because you'll just be expecting like, oh, she'll come back, but then she won't, and it'll be like, no. That's my prediction.
Yeah, the best part about this episode was like, while that was kind of the main story, there was a little B plot going on where all of
it was the babies.
Yeah, all the babies, all the superheroes' wives and girlfriends and whatnot all met up at Iris West's house. Who I learned that the voice actress of Iris West is one of the showrunners of the show. I forget her name, but she's also involved in like writing and whatnot. So she's probably just one of the writers, but.
It actually took me a minute to realize who that was because I've seen like the most of Iris that I've seen lately has been on the Flash CW show, and where she doesn't look anything like white redheaded.
There was even that little line from Bart where he takes the Tornado Twins and he calls Dad.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, stop that, Dad!" And Iris is like, "Don't call him that." All right, Grandma, don't call me that either. Yeah, which is that's ironic because of Legacies. Anyway.
Yeah,
I wrote a similar joke for something.
Yeah, you did. I was thinking about that when I was watching it.
Was that too much?
Yeah, you've been. Yeah.
Anyway, there's too many things that I write for Legacies that we don't put out in time. That I see.
Yeah, we don't do it fast enough, and someone else does it. Yeah.
Anyway, so what was also really cool about that scene is we see people like Red Tornado and his daughter. In that we see Mira.
Yeah, when Red Tornado came in, Roy calls him John.
Yeah,
and I was like, John, like who is this supposed to be?
Martian Manhunter was probably your first guess.
And then and then as soon as he does
Red Tornadoes,
tornadoes, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, Red Tornado was like one of the few adult characters in the original Young Justice comic book.
Right. Yeah.
Back in the 90s, he was kind of their adult mentor, in a way.
Black
Black
was
Canary.
That in the first season
the
too.
first season, Black Canary kind of did that too. But so we see Mira, we see Aqua Baby, we see Rocket there with her kid. Lois comes with Jonathan Kent.
Yeah,
we mentioned that a little earlier. That was pretty cool to see.
Because that wasn't even a character until like a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
so I
like
that they're
right
doing
before.
That, yeah.
And then the whole thing is like, while that's going on across the street, Ocean Master is there just like watching everybody get there, and he's like, I'm about to go blow up this house and just take off like in one hit, just hit the superheroes or they can never recover. And right as he's getting ready to go kill everybody, Lady Shiva appears
Yeah.
and basically talks him down. Is like, you can't do that. That's a nuclear option. Us villains, we already know about
Nuclear.
this. We've already agreed. Nuclear. We we agreed we can't do this, and so she decapitates Ocean Master.
Yeah, just immediately. Yeah.
Before he can go kill all the wives and kids, and nobody will ever know that the villains saved them all that day.
Yeah. I guess she's probably leading all the ninjas, like I was wondering about earlier, but because she's part of the light now or something.
Yeah, Lady Shiva. She's just like one of the top 5 assassins in the DCU.
Like I said, I've been rewatching the first 2 seasons with Jessica, and I'm hoping that this gets explained because I actually don't remember. Because we just watched. There's a season 1 episode where it's all about Aqualad. He goes back to Atlantis and he hangs out with Tula. Is that her name?
Yeah.
And the other Aqualad, Garth. And they're like some octopus-faced kid is like doing a painting of Aquaman and Ocean Master fighting, and he's like tells the tale of like, Aquaman was almost defeated by Ocean Master until all the Aqualads helped him out, but then in the same episode, Orm is there not being a bad guy, like he's like hasn't become Ocean Master yet. Is that a thing where like
Oh, that's weird.
I'm
gonna have to rewatch that one.
Yeah, but like, I can't remember if he just becomes the Ocean Master thing is passed down to him, or he becomes Ocean Master later or something.
Well, in the movie, Ocean Master's a title.
Yeah,
but I think that's just his villain name.
That was made up for the movie.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the first time.
Because that's what I'm confused about. Because also then there's a recent episode we watched. They finally show who all the light people are, and they step out of the shadows, and Ocean Master is one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm very confused.
Well, my understanding of Ocean Master from like the comics I've read and stuff is as soon as he's cast out of Atlantis, as soon as Aquaman becomes king and you know shows the world like, oh, Ocean Master, my brother Orm is evil. Yeah, like he's evil. As soon as it's known, oh, he's evil, he's using the armies of Atlantis to like mess with the world, he's cast out of Atlantis and kind of becomes his own sort of just a wandering mercenary villain just looking for revenge on his brother, you know? So he gets wrapped up with like the Injustice Gang here and there.
Well, that's the thing, is that most of my questions this season have probably been answered in the past 2 seasons, but I just don't remember it well enough to, like, all the Roy stuff that we're confused about.
Sure.
Like, I'm sure I'll get, oh yeah, duh, like it'll be answered for me immediately.
Eventually.
Like there was a callback when they're fighting Brick on the truck. There was a callback to the first time we saw Brick in the season 1, where they're like firing a bunch of lasers and stuff at him and arrows and whatever, and his suit gets like torn off, blown off, and he's like, you have no idea how much this suit cost me. And they do that again in this Roy episode. They're like, this suit was so expensive or something when he's doing that. But I would have never remembered that this was a callback.
Supervillain.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered it was a callback unless I had just watched that episode. So I'm sure that there's been stuff like that happening that I'm not catching because I don't remember. But
Nice. Well, the last thing about the episode I want to say is we see Granny Goodness for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
We learn that Granny is like, she's going on talk shows, talking to G. Gordon Godfrey. She's calling
I've been trying to figure out why is it important that those VR stuff is happening, but I guess now we'll find out that, she's controlling people or something. Yeah,
she's calling herself Gretchen Good, and she she's some sort of partnership with Wayne Tech, which... It's interesting.
What secrets is he hiding?
Makes me wonder.
He's not Batman.
If she's she's in charge of like the Warner Brothers of that universe.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the little WB logo.
Yeah, but they're doing something with Wayne Tech, and so I wonder if like Bruce Wayne knows she's from Apocalypse, and is trying to like secretly
I've been keeping tabs on.
Yeah, or if Batman's about to get screwed over, I don't know. But we're
probably that one.
Yeah. But obviously
she's not all Ed Asner-y. She's like an actual lady.
No. She's actually an old lady this time around.
Yeah.
But I still think she did a great job as Granny. Like very creepy. It's gonna go. I mean, she's obviously a villain. Obviously, a new god. Yeah. We'll learn more about that soon.
I had forgotten to mention last time we talked about the show that G. Gordon Godfrey is not voiced by oh my god, Tim Curry anymore.
Yeah,
Nigel Thornberry, Clown, whatever. Yeah, that I think it was between the time that the show was canceled and now he had like a massive stroke and he's like wheelchair bound and stuff now, so he's not in a good place.
Oh no.
But the guy that they got voicing him is doing an okay job of replicating the Nigel Thornberry kind of sound that he had.
Yeah, I think so.
And also when Granny Goodness was on screen, it made me think about how they're like, okay, so the Justice Lords, right? You're familiar with the concept of the Justice Lords.
I've heard of them.
So it's like it's like a Justice League where, they made one bad decision and so now they're like totalitarian and weird.
Sure.
It made me think of if it would be interesting to do a story, well, not us, but like it would be interesting to read a story, I guess, that maybe us, I don't know, maybe I should explain the idea.
Yes.
If there's a like a world where the Justice League is maybe like a few decades ahead of the normal timeline, so they're like in a Batman Beyond kind of era or maybe a little bit further, but it's lined up with the present day of most universes or something like that. Kind of like, I think the Earth 12 universe on the multiverse timeline is that, like it's set in Batman Beyond time, but that's running concurrently with, normal present day for most other people or whatever. But anyway, so they're already like aware of like these 200 characters are supervillains, like Granny Goodness, like all these different characters, Darkseid,
Sure.
all this Lex
They know
Luthor is
everybody.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they know, they have the back computer like files on everybody, and they come to say like a Young Justice universe, a DCAU or whatever, and go like, hey, by the way, you should be on the lookout for
All these people.
these people. And then they just go like but then that causes a Justice Lord sort of thing to happen in that
Where they
the Justice League that
preemptively
they
collect
visit,
people
yeah,
before
they
they make
go
the
they go
crimes.
and they
That's a
take
great
out
idea.
they go murder like all of these people that haven't done anything yet, and then everybody's like, whoa, okay, get out of the fucking way.
We'll pitch that to DC once we get
Yeah.
the chance.
Yeah, because I think that would be really interesting
great
to do.
idea.
Like, because Granny Goodness is like, she's hiding in plain sight, but no one knows that Granny Goodness is a thing, even though we know as viewers. So people that have that
The
information come in
Justice
and
League
tell
just
them
arrested the head of Good
like,
Brothers Entertainment.
Why? Yeah.
Because they
So
published
anyway.
a story about Jesus and Batman's penis.
Yeah. Dan DiDio was running the VR headsets, and they're like, no, thank you.
Nope, arrest him.
anyway.
It's a supervillain. Or it will be.
Yeah. So don't steal that idea. But
That's
anyway.
great. Well, that was Young Justice.
Yeah. I gotta pee real bad.
Can we take
so do you
our
wanna
little break
pause?
right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, your laundry break. Okay, we're at Comic Relief now?
Yeah. Or do we do comic relief before our mail? I forget.
Yes.
We do mail after.
Yes.
Okay.
Before the mail
Cool.
section.
Nice. Where we answer questions from males and females.
No, just guys.
Oh, okay.
We're very sexist.
That's
So,
not
Comic
true.
Relief.
That wasn't true. So, what did you didn't read anything.
Nope.
You don't read. I read The Green Lantern #3 by Grant Morrison.
Is that the newest Hal Jordan-y stories?
It's the newest Hal Jordan story,
'Cause
and
he's
it had
the
a really
Green Lantern.
interesting. I'm gonna bring it up in the context of Justice League #15 as well, and here's why. I had to open both the books at the same time and put them next to each other and look at 2 pages because I was like, so there in Green Lantern #3, there's a scene where all of these alien species have come together to basically bid on who gets to buy Earth.
Okay.
It's like the Dominators are there. Steppenwolf is there representing Apocalypse. There's Evil Star. Some
Is
other
Steppenwolf
random.
a very large gray CGI indistinguishable from any other villain man, or is he like a
More or
green
less.
New Gods STAS style looking?
He's got a bit of like more of like a Viking looking aesthetic going on.
Yeah, his reddish spiky head. Yeah. Okay.
No, actually, he's more of like he is kind of just gray and tan, but he is he's like definitely wearing like a pelt on his back or something. I don't know.
They didn't make
But anyway.
a joke about him being not memorable
Right.
at all. Anyway.
Well, I had to open the books side by side because there was that scene where they're all bidding on Earth, and then in Justice League number 15, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern have gone to Thanagar Prime to go to their vaults because they're looking for something locked deep in
They're
the
like
vaults
green
there.
guts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, essentially, yeah. And so there's other aliens who've come to the vault, one of them being the Dominators, who are there with a giant shard of kryptonite that they want to store. But so it's like there's a scene where the Dominators are coming in. It looks like Steppenwolf is there too. And in my head, I'm just like, is this the same group who was just in the Green Lantern book? Like, are they now all of a sudden it's like this little alien tour of like, okay, well, let's bid on Earth. Then we're all going to stop at Thanagar. We're going to drop off our
We
valuables.
got like a couple errands to run if you guys want to tag along. Yeah.
That's what it seemed like. So I had to open them side by side and kind of compare the groups of aliens.
Were you
just to
correct?
See if it was
they-
close. There's
Okay.
definitely there's overlap, but it's not the exact same group. Even though there are a few similarities, the Dominators being the main ones. But anyway, so Green Lantern number 3, they're bidding on Earth. Steppenwolf almost gets it. He's almost the winner because he's basically like, if I don't get Earth, Darkseid's gonna have my head. Like I have to get Earth. Darkseid's gonna be so unhappy. And so the Dominators
That's
like,
his
well, in
MO.
that case, the Dominators hear that they're like, well, fuck you, Steppenwolf. We're gonna like outbid you times 10.
Yeah.
And they do that, and Steppenwolf's like, oh man, okay, I'm pissed off now.
I don't have that
And then,
much money.
But then the Dominators is like going once, going twice, and then this guy called the Shepherd appears out of nowhere, and he looks like God of the Old Testament. He's like this big like
Oh,
white
okay.
beard.
No, I saw panels of this
see
because he
that?
gets punched in the face by a boxing glove, right?
Yes, that does happen. But it's basically the Old Testament God who has gotten Earth, and he's like, and he tells Green Lantern like, I'm gonna take good care of it. Like I want to rule the planet in peace and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's basically gonna be business as normal. But then Green Lantern like reveals that the Shepherd is actually this like giant like demonic looking like Balrog type. And so he reveals it to Earth. He's like, look, Earth, look at your Shepherd. This is what he really looks like. And the president of America, of the United States, contacts Green Lantern. He's like, you know what, Green Lantern, we like to think that we've moved beyond judging people by their appearances. And Green Lantern's like, he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Is it an analog for the actual president, or is it just a made up white dude?
No, this is just like a random dude. Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't Trump or anything,
Joe
but it was kind of
McPresident,
funny. It was just funny. They're like all of a sudden, just like, oh, we have a benevolent God controlling us now. We're we're cool.
So who
So
is
it's,
who is the like auctioneer at this thing? Anyone in particular?
Oh, it was it looked like Kanjar Row, but it
Okay.
wasn't Kanjar Row, but it was one of his species.
Species, really? Yeah.
Yeah, like the big bug eyes and like
Yeah.
the little blue hat sort of
Okay.
thing. Yeah, the same
Kanjar
type of.
Doe.
It was the same type of name. It was like Lantar Toe or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. Yeah, but some sort of
Peepaw
rhyme
Poe.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Green Lantern 3. It was really funny. I loved it. So
Yeah.
it was a great book. The other book I'll talk about was Young Justice #1 by Brian Michael Bendis.
Starring not Superboy, like a different.
It's Connor. This is Connor Kent. Superboy
Is that
in
confirmed
this.
for sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
for
Maddie
sure.
was
In
just
the book.
on the
Well, I read
on
the
the
book.
Discord, the group Patreon hangout that we just had a couple hours ago. Maddie was just talking about Jonathan
I know.
being turned into
I
a
didn't-
17-year-old or something.
Yeah, I didn't get to chime in about this
Yeah.
on the Discord. I wanted to. I was like trying to be like, but Young Justice #1. that's Connor Kent."
Yeah.
But
Well,
in my
like
head, I'm
6
just like,
people
I
in
could
there.
talk about this here. But yeah, so it's Tim Drake, Bart Allen, Connor Kent, Cassie Sandsmark. Those are the 4 core members of Young Justice who are back for this book. Not the TV show, but the original book from the 90s
Right.
that's basically been rebooted now. So it's the 4 of them, and it seems like it's in like a weird, like they're talking about how DC's had, in the book, they say how the universe has had 7 crises and how each crisis rewrites the history of the universe. So they're already planting the seeds that this is some offshoot continuity
Oh, okay.
or something. Something happened somewhere along the line to create
This
the
is a
world that we're reading
Bendis
about.
thing, right?
Yeah, it is a Bendis thing. So
One of the
Um,
Bendis things.
one of them Bendis things. But yeah, it was really cool. Like they all obviously are old friends in this reboot.
Okay.
Like Tim, Connor, Cassie, They all know each other. Bart.
Yeah, I was trying to
and
figure
they're all
out how Tim Drake fit into this because he's been a big player in the recent stuff.
And he's not Red Robin in this. He is regular old Robin. So it is weird. They're definitely. It seems like he's definitely going to explain how this book exists within current continuity. That just hasn't happened yet, but it seems they'll definitely
aren't
go
there
there.
like a handful of multiverse Earths that haven't been labeled yet or something? So maybe this is one. I don't know.
It could be one of those, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
for sure. What's cool is there are a few new characters. Well, one of them's not new. Amethyst of Gem World.
Right.
She is like one of the more swords and sorcery type characters for DC.
Is she in Rock of Ages in the future?
I don't think so. Are you thinking of Argent? You might be thinking of Argent.
Maybe she shoots like rainbows and stuff.
Or you're thinking of Argent, yeah.
Okay.
But Amethyst has been in like DC Superhero Girls. She's in she's been around since the 1980s, but she's had her own like show on DC Nation. She's a lot like Steven Universe, like the gems.
Okay,
You know, the crystal gems. If you're
Gem
familiar
World.
with that. Yeah, it's a lot like that. So Young Justice, people from the Gem World, which is what it's called. Almost dropped my...
People from the Gem World. Don't say Gem World.
Yep, just going to drop my recorder there a little bit. But we're good. We're still recording. They come to invade Earth, and Young Justice is like the first line of defense against them. So by the end of the issue, they go to Gem World and run into Amethyst. But before that, it's like the four of them, Bart, Connor, Tim, Cassie, getting together. And then they meet two other who are new characters. The Teen Lantern, who's this little black girl with like big bushy hair. She's a really cool character. I like her so
Glad
far.
you said hair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big
She's just
bushy
like got a cool
hair.
look. Like, yeah, but she disguises herself and like a giant mecha robot for most of the issue. But then you, by the end of it, you see like, oh, it's just a little girl. Just a little girl who's somehow a Green Lantern. She calls herself Teen Lantern. So
Well, hey,
don't
Cairo's 8 years old. Anyone can be a Green
baby
Lantern.
Lantern.
Yeah.
And then the other new character is Ginny Hex, who is Jonah Hex's great granddaughter.
This is
or
a
something
Randall
like that.
Savage kind of thing.
I know, but her name is Ginny Hex.
Okay. Does she
comes
also
from-
have a scarred half mouth face?
She's killing people with real guns and real pistols. And Tim Drake the whole time is like, "Is that a real gun?" And then she kills a couple people.
and then she
he's like-
kills Tim Drake.
it seems obvious that he is uncomfortable with her methods. So Ginny Hex will have to, learn some new skills.
She'll get a scolding.
Yep. That's
So you
about all I
haven't seen
have to
any
say about that.
any older Justice League members in this comic? They're all
No.
just the teenagers. Okay.
Just the teenagers so far.
I wonder if they've done this on. They must have done this on purpose, releasing a new Young Justice comic at the same time that Young Justice, the show.
Oh, I'm
got
sure.
renewed.
But it was also, they're just letting Bendis do what he wants.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's actually a great thing. So
Yeah.
he's going to, I think over the next couple of years, we'll see some really interesting original works.
Maybe
from
he
him.
came into the company and was like, "All right, I have to do these 5 things," and one of
Well,
them
he's
is
doing
Young
an
Justice.
original character called Naomi. Naomi's book just premiered, and I haven't read Naomi, but he's branding it as this is the book that changes the DC universe forever. Don't know what he means by that, but I know that she gets her powers from the ashes of a fight between Superman and Mongol. So I know the regular DCU Superman is in her book, but we'll see. These are all part of the Wonder Comics line of books that Bendis is spearheading for DC.
I wonder what's in a Wonder comic.
It's the Wonder Twins,
Yeah,
Young
and
Justice,
Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl
Naomi, yeah,
and Wonder
not Wonder Woman,
Dog.
surprisingly. Well,
Wonder Man from Marvel Comics.
that's all I read. I was
Yeah.
going to talk about The Punisher season 2,
No,
but
you can't talk about that yet.
and I actually haven't finished watching it yet. So.
Well, you also didn't
I-
watch Punisher season 1.
No,
So.
I didn't. but I like season 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of standalone. Like I think there's a villain who gets introduced mid-season who is probably from season 1, just based off what everyone's saying about him.
Yeah.
So
Hospitalized man with scarred
all
face.
I'll say,
Yeah.
yes, actually, yes.
Yeah.
I like the show. Season
Okay.
2 is great. Cool. I'm done with comic relief.
Maddie recently guest starred on the Comic Drake YouTube channel to talk about Punisher stuff.
Nice.
Sort of guest starred anyway. Okay, well, we can move on to the Untitled mail segment. This one is from Trent, one of our patrons. I missed it last time because it showed up like right after we finished talking. So it's a couple weeks old. But in any case, okay. He says, "Hey guys, my question is this time is whether there was an episode of the DCAU that impacted you or your life in some major way. I know that for a friend of mine, the JLU episode, This Little Piggy, is what pushed him to become a vegetarian, something that he has stuck to this day. Love the show, and thanks for taking the time to look at these questions." Yeah, I have not been driven to vegetarianism by any episode. I don't know if it's like if I can't think of something that's changed my life because of like the subject matter in the episode. I do think that Robin's Reckoning from Batman, which won an Emmy, is probably like the reason why I like these shows so much. Like it's a very mature episode, especially that it includes Robin. Most of the Robin episodes were usually a lot sillier or whatever. And yeah, I had a they released at the time like a bunch of VHS tapes of like, here's 2 or 3 episodes that focus on this character, and that character was on like the front cover and Batman's swinging toward him or whatever. And that one was just Robin, and they just had Robin's Reckoning on it, and I watched it like 10,000 times. I watched that and Mask of the Phantasm all the time. So that's probably that. I guess that impacted me enough that I'm doing this with you here right now. I don't know. I can't think of any episode of anything that's like, oh, I no longer use anything robotic because maybe it's sentient like the Zeta Project and it will be mad at me.
Or Brainiac.
Yeah.
No, I obviously I like to date redheads because of Shara Hole and Andrea Beaumont and Barbara Gordon, and I could keep going. Yeah. Veronica Vreeland, Bunny Vreeland.
Yeah, specifically
Bruce Timm
Bunny
draws
Vreeland,
the most really sexy redheads
character.
Yeah. But for real though, the episode Tiger of Batman the Animated Series has a special place in my heart. That introduced me to the poem by William Blake, Tiger, that's named after, and I ended up naming my cat after that episode. He is a gray Russian blue who looks a lot like Tigress.
Blake.
Actually, his name is Blake because of the poet who wrote Tiger.
Would you say perhaps the poetry also helped you want to be a writer, or is it just the cat thing?
Maybe. I had to take a class in college where it was a poetry dissecting sort of class, poetry theory, and we had to memorize and recite a poem. And this was the poem that I chose to do.
Okay.
So, Tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night.
It also
what
has
mortal hand or I dare frame thy
fearful
symmetry.
Yeah.
Justice League Unlimited episode.
Yeah. It's all connected. Yeah. That's part of the Cadmus arc, is that the episode names or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Ember Moto. This was a comment on the last episode on YouTube. Based on what you guys have seen so far, where would you like the rest of the Young Justice season to go, and what characters would you like them to include? I think we know enough.
A little bit today.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about Young Justice, but I know we've seen most of like the characters that are going to be in it, even if we haven't really seen them do much yet, like Metamorpho and Katana and stuff. Like we know they're going to happen. There was a screenshot actually that the Court of Owls is going to be part of the next few episodes. So that's kind of cool.
I have one wish, especially after episode 9. So there's a character in the original Young Justice comic book called Slobo, who Slobo was a clone of Lobo.
Yeah, he's the smaller
basically
one.
Little Lobo, but then there was like kind of a smaller, not stupider. He was like cool and chill.
Oh.
He was just like a young like emo looking dude. So in episode 9, when they fight Lobo, when he's going after Forager, there's a scene where Lobo's finger gets shot off, and so I wonder if his finger
clone him.
is gonna if it'll grow into Slobo separately. So his finger could lead into
that would be kind of fun,
clone. I would love.
I did like
to see
that. That was the
Slobo.
credits background for that episode. It's all like calm Young Justice theme song and just his finger on the ground.
Yeah. Wait, that was after credits?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just, they do the credits where there's just a backdrop of something calming and stuff.
Then,
Yeah, it was just his
dude,
finger on the
I didn't
ground.
realize that, actually. So that leads more to my theory. His finger's going to grow into slow bow.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is from Justin from Michigan. That's his full name. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to read my message. Oh, this is the last one, by the way. I love the channel and the site and sincerely appreciate the work you put into it. I don't know if you've ever answered this, so I apologize if it's come up before. We know that at one point during the Cadmus arc, there was the idea was for Batman to split off from the League and form the DCAU version of the Outsiders. With Young Justice back and the Outsiders taking center stage, I was wondering about your thoughts regarding the DCAU version of the team. Do you think Batman would have taken other members of the League with him like in Young Justice, or would he have pulled from characters on the outside? Personally, I think Huntress would have been a likely candidate. Creeper possibly too, as he Jack Ryder, by the way, as he was in multiple versions of the team in the comics. But I wonder if they would have gone way back to BTAS for other members, like say Kirk Langstrom, or even a left field choice like Tigress from Tiger. Just something I was curious about. Thanks again for your time, taking the time, and all your hard work.
I'll say Man Bat has been a member of the Outsiders before.
Okay. Man Bat.
Man Bat. That's a great choice.
That's a
I think Metamorpho. Would go with him.
Yeah,
from
he
the
definitely
JLU.
could have done it.
He
was like weird, like tortured enough of a character that he probably would be like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore or whatever.
Now, I don't think Black Lightning would have been in the DCAU, even though he was in the JLU tie-in comic books. But
he was in Crisis on Two Earths also.
Black Lightning's one of those few characters whose creator, Tony Isabella, still owns much of the character's rights. Yeah. So he gets a really large royalty check whenever they decide to use him, which is great. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying that is a reason why he wasn't in JLU. But it seems like now with like Young Justice, they don't care about that so much.
Well, yeah, it would have been tough.
The main roadblock.
And it would have been tough to do an Outsiders team with the Bat embargo going on. This is like you have to draw from whatever characters are not Batman characters.
They could pull in Nightwing, but Batman character.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
But he would make sense, I think, in the DCU. Who else? There'd be...
I guess if there wasn't a Bat embargo, like, doing Nightwing, maybe Batgirl in sort of an Oracle position, but not literally Oracle. Because they were also going to do that Birds of Prey episode that didn't happen.
I guess... Like I like how Young Justice is introducing Geoforce and Halo, because I think those would be the two, if they had to be introduced in the DCAU, that would need an intro, because we don't know who Terra is from the Teen Titans in the DCAU. We don't have any of that.
They could take a page out of Legacies of the DCAU and put Geoforce in it, because we put Geoforce.
Hey, we have. I don't know if our readers know this, but Geoforce is in issue number 2 of Legacies. He's the Markovian delegate there. Yeah. So go back and
my grandma is also in that issue as a delegate.
Brian. Yeah, nice. And so is Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, that's true.
It's there's a lot of interesting delegates there.
So all of these characters are now DCAU.
I want to add Bernie Sanders as a pick for my DCAU
Outsiders. Muslims.
Feel the bird, and then he sends fire out of his hands.
Millionaires and billionaires. That's what he wants to take down.
We live in a world where the top 1% earn more than the bottom 99%.
See, he has the power to speak to tiny birds, so maybe it'll work out in his favor. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. He's a person for the Outsiders.
Yep. Yeah, there's your team. No, that would have been kind of cool. All right, well, this is the end of the show, I think, right about now. And we've recorded for about an hour and a half, so it's good time trying to keep it kind of quicker paced, than it's
we aim for an hour and a half
thing.
We're about there.
Yeah, let me get to my document here so I don't miss anything. We got this. Okay. Well, we would like to thank Mr. Adam Mullen for writing the music at the start of this show, although now it's not technically the exact start. It's the part where you hear Metron speaking and then the little theme song. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's at musica-atomica.com if you want to hire him to write music for you. So the podcast is out every other Monday. Did you know that, Ted?
Mm-hmm. I did now.
Yeah, today's Monday, and then it'll be Monday again in a couple of weeks when we do this again.
It's Monday every week.
That's true. But anyway. It's on iTunes, it's on YouTube, it's on watchtowerdatabase.com. Maybe, we've been talking since like episode 12 about putting it on Spotify, but that hasn't happened yet, so just calm down. Just go to watchtowerdatabase.com, hit play, close your phone, it'll work. Share it with your friends also, because this is the lowest performing thing on the channel, and we would like to make that the opposite. I know it's really long, but you can listen to us talk about things that are cool. You
don't have to listen to this on YouTube. We're on other places.
The Young Justice episode was one of our best, so maybe this will follow suit. We'll see.
Nice. This might be our second best.
We're on social media at DCAU Watchtower, or you can email us at info@watchtowerdatabase.com. You can also, what was the third way that I keep forgetting to add to this? I can't remember. Anyway, those are ways to contact us if you want to send us mails and such. The videos, we got videos out on the channel every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday. That's changing pretty soon. Not in a bad way, just kind of rearranging a little bit. And so subscribe so you don't miss out on all of that good stuff. We just, like we talked about, we did like 17 Fatal 5 videos recently, and we're going to keep doing stuff on that as it happens. We're also like talking about doing a Titans season 1 timeline on a sort of obscure day that
the live action one.
Yeah. But yeah, we have our like videos laid out of what we're doing every week all the way through like May now. So at least we're about like nearing halfway through the year of knowing exactly what we're going to do. That'll probably keep changing because the Fatal 5 movie will come out, and then it'll be like a bunch of different stuff we have to do. But anyway, we also have a Discord server that we started up. You heard us talk about it a couple times on this episode. I don't have a actual like link I can say on here because it's just a bunch of numbers and letters so far for joining it. Once we get, I think, a certain amount of people in there, we can make a custom link for it. But that's on the community tab on the Watchtower Database channel. You can go click on the thing and join it. We actually have a decent amount of people in there right now. It's like over 100 something, and chatting it up, which is pretty fun to get to know people better, and you can talk.
Jump in every now and then.
Yeah, Ted's in there once a week. Maddie and I are in there every day, so you can talk to us at some point. We're on patreon.com/DCAU Watchtower. If you want to chuck in your coffee money for us, we just had the little hangout sesh earlier where we got to talk to about 6 other people at different times. Maybe it was actually like 4, I think. But they got in because they're on the $5 or higher reward tier. And we've got
higher tiers than that too.
Yeah,
so if you want to give us your rent money,
could,
I don't know what we'll do.
We should just there's 1, 3, 5, 15, 30, 50, and 1,400. Yeah.
Okay.
Full rent. Yeah. No. With the top tier, you get your name shouted out in Sunday videos, which I have to.
We'll build you a statue in the Legion of Superheroes Hall of Statues.
We will commission a statue in your honor.
Doesn't look a thing like me.
Yeah, right. Nothing like me. And also, last but not least, we have merch at teespring.com/stores/DCAU Watchtower. There you can buy some t-shirts. There's one with the Watchtower Database logo. There's a Maddie face. There's an egg baby. There's a yellow bat suit. There's all sorts of stuff. So go check that out. I just sent a Watchtower Database hoodie to one of our patrons because they picked that reward tier. And I said,
nice.
I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if it doesn't suck, because we have not ordered any of this for ourselves yet. We have no idea the quality of these products. We don't wear our own merch. Although Teespring is like integrated with YouTube, so I would assume it doesn't suck. So we'll find out. Have I sold it to you? Well, we assume it doesn't suck.
No.
Please buy our merch.
You can wear it on your body.
At least 3 people, or there were at least 3 t-shirts bought last month, so somebody's doing it.
Nice.
But that was for Christmas. It's not Christmas anymore. Anyway, that show is over.
It's someone's birthday, though. Happy birthday.
It was, yeah. It was
someone's birthday every day.
It was Jay's Review's birthday in November. Happy birthday, late
Jay.
Birthday. He's been editing Vanishing Point this year, which is nice. It helps me.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, well,
Is that it? That's all we
It
got?
sure is. What's the funny pun that you say at the end of the show?
This is another episode from your two guys, one intellect.
There you go.
No offense, but I really don't think you could follow the reasoning of a 12th level intellect such as my own.
Guess not.
The 12th Level Intellects podcast is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit watchtowerdatabase.com for more podcast episodes, videos, comics, artwork, and pretty much anything DC animated universe you can think of.